short time ago. We will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Great again. Great again.
Hey guys, good morning and welcome to the latest episode of the American Tribune Live with Todd Peterson. I am Todd Peterson, the eponymous host of the show's title here, and I got to give a shout out to Locals. We have one viewer ready to go over in Locals. Thank you. I've got to set up that platform better. I don't know if the American Tribune has anything over there, but Locals, if you're watching, thanks for watching here. And let me fix one more thing here. I got to make sure that we can get our live chat displayed. Folks, if you are watching live, it is live, so drop a comment when you hear something you agree with, you disagree with. I always invite the trolls out there. We're not on Facebook, but we are on YouTube. If we've got any wokesters out on YouTube and they say, you're supporting a fascist, I'd love to hear more of an argument. Love to tell you how you're wrong here. But welcome aboard, folks. We are talking about Tesla and how the left loves political violence. They are advocating for more violence. And if you don't believe that claim, stick around for the show today. I've got clips from Jimmy Kimmel, MSNBC, Comedy Central's The Daily Show, which is that still on? So yeah, I understand that Jon Stewart was fine. I mean, he was a Muppet the entire time. He was obviously just spewing propaganda, but he was entertaining. Like, you didn't have to agree with anything he said. You could hate what he said, but I understood why people tuned in. He was kind of just like Reddit before Reddit became a thing. He was just comically, I guess, being Reddit. And then Trevor Noah just tanked the show. And then I don't even know who the latest host is. I thought I caught a bit of an English accent because, you know, when you have your John Oliver types out there, they sound like they know what they're talking about when they speak with an accent, even though it turns out the left hates England. Like, square that circle. They bring over these Brits that know nothing about America or history or our values, but they sound smart to brainwash low IQ Dem voters. And then at the same time, the left absolutely hates England. You can see how they are trying to destroy all of the West, but specifically in England, they've imported so many immigrants that that country will cease to exist. I think it already ceases to exist. You can go out, as it turns out, you can be Pakistani. You can rape young girls for decades and nothing happens to you. But God forbid you post a meme being like, I don't like these immigrants coming in here and raping young girls, and they will bring you to prison. I am not being hyperbolic or exaggerating the situation. So England's done. The left hates England, and at the same time, the left props up these Brits that come over here because they are woke. Again, nothing makes sense. Nothing's coherent in the Democrat communist worldview. But we have got to talk about political violence. I will say this. I am shocked Donald Trump is president right now after everything they tried to do to him. And the lawfare was the least of it. I mean, they tried to assassinate Donald Trump. I have no doubts about that. You should have no doubts about that. The regime absolutely had a hand in Thomas Crook's lone wolf, quote, lone wolf operation in Butler, Pennsylvania last July 13th. They love their political violence because it's the only way they can win. The left doesn't win on ideas. It wins by force. Nobody, and I mean this literally, once again, nobody with a brain cell, most Americans do not support anything that the left is pushing right now. Donald Trump has record high poll numbers. I think we talked about that on my show just this past Tuesday even, highlighted a CNN poll that thinks AOC best represents the party. And that is a representation that wants open borders, endless wars, transing kids, taking your kid away from you if you don't affirm their trans identity. They don't want any more punishment for bad guys, actual violent criminals. They will release dudes. There was a report from the New York Post that said the top 5 subway, just in the subway, 5 dudes had amassed over like 600 arrests. They're still on the streets. They're still causing mayhem. They're still hurting people. But if you say one thing against the regime, boom, off to jail with you, even if you're nonviolent. The left loves their violence. Antifa, BLM, turns out USAID funded all the BLM, not protests, but the riots and the looting that took place, the absolute destruction of cities. Here where I live in Minnesota, you still can't go down to George Floyd Square. I think they still have his stupid statue up. Life is not better. Head down to South Minneapolis sometime where the incident took place where George Floyd overdosed on drugs and then they blamed a police officer for his death. Life is not better for a single resident in that community. It is worse because businesses have left. Things have not been rebuilt to this day, almost 5 years later. So you tell me how Democrats and the causes Democrats prop up are helping people. But the American people don't want anything that Dems are offering. That's why Donald Trump won in November, despite all of the media narratives against him, all of the hoaxes for the past 10 years, the monopoly in the media, the monopoly with the regime's narratives. Americans saw through it. They said, I'm tired of the economy that Biden has handled, mismanaged, tired of the wide open borders. I'm tired of having drugs trafficked in the country. I'm tired of young kids and young girls getting sexually trafficked in this country and abused at the hands of just absolute monsters and demons. And Joe Biden couldn't care less what was happening to these kids. 300,000 missing kids under the Biden regime at the border. He didn't care. Mayorkas didn't care. Democrats at large did not care. They don't care that kids are getting trafficked at the border. Donald Trump comes in, boom, we're seeing 94% reductions in border crossings in just his first 2 months. As he said at the joint congressional address, turns out we just needed a new president. Didn't need legislation. We just needed someone that loves this country, wants to protect its citizens, and wants to make sure drugs and children are not trafficked across the border to be abused. And that could get people killed. Wild stuff now, though. So again, the left loves political violence. They absolutely hate Elon Musk. And the people in charge hate Elon Musk, not because he's sig heiling everywhere, not because he's co-president. They hate Elon Musk because he's exposing the truth. Elon Musk is exposing the corruption. Doge is exposing all of the waste, grift, fraud, abuse, the laundering that takes place. Turns out there's no Democrat Party without your tax dollars getting stolen from you and then redistributed into corrupt NGOs, nonprofits. Get out the vote for Democrats. Notice how your tax dollars never get out the vote for MAGA. Your tax dollars only ever get out the vote for Democrats because democracy. Democracy just means you will vote party line. You won't think about it. You will just do what you're told. Listen to the media. Listen to these politicians. And here is a new refrigerator. If you're in Stacey Abrams' group, she was handing out new appliances. Hey, we will furnish your kitchen. Just make sure you vote Democrat. It is all corrupt. There is no Democrat Party without Doge. That's why they hate him. That's why they're creating these narratives. No, Elon Musk is not co-president. Elon Musk's role is very defined. And as a president, you get to appoint people in your cabinet, in your administration, to carry out your will. And in this case of Donald Trump, simply carrying out the will of the people. We wanted change. We wanted this corruption to stop. We knew there was corruption. Honestly, I didn't know it was this bad. In our heads, we're like, it's bad. I know it's really bad. But man, when you see these figures, you see these numbers, you see where your money is going, and you see how these politicians have the money eventually just come back into their own pockets to the tunes of millions of dollars, hiring their spouses, hiring their kids, hiring their friends. It is all wild. Something is broken in you. You are not a fully functioning human being. You are not a real human being if you accept these narratives. The fact that you are mad at Donald Trump and Elon Musk for exposing it and not at the corruption itself, the fact that the corruption exists, something is wrong with you. If you're willing to so blindly and sheepishly believe the corporate media narratives, the Dem politicians, the establishment politicians' narratives, how can you call yourself a human being? You are simply a robot. You just get programmed. You have discarded your free will. You've discarded the ability that God gave you to think rationally and be like, I pay taxes. I pay a lot of taxes. I see my tax money going to these places. I see politicians getting rich. I see their friends getting rich. I see their family getting rich. I see these wars continuing overseas that nobody knows anything about. We still don't know what's happening in Ukraine. Has any reporter ever really gone there and talked about what's so vital over there? Oh, no, just the Ukrainian people. Go help democracy, even though the democracy got shut down. Zelensky didn't have elections. Shut down churches, Orthodox Christians in Ukraine. Nope, not a thing anymore. You will prop up the Nazis over in Ukraine, though, because they're fighting the good fight against Putin, and Putin's bad. So that is where Democrats are at nowadays. But let's dive into it. Enough of me meandering, rambling. I had to get that off my chest. Democrats are pure evil. Democrat voters are pure sheep. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, if you're mad at Donald Trump and Elon Musk, I just can't get over this. I promise we'll get to the clips. I just can't get over this. If you are mad at these two people, and really the Trump administration at large, for doing wonderful things for this country, wonderful things for you, the American citizen, even if you didn't vote for Trump, he is making your life better. Gas prices down, egg prices down, secure border, less violent illegal criminals in this country, peace coming up in Europe finally after 3 years. Your life is better even if you didn't vote for him. You're welcome, by the way. I saved you from yourself because I did vote for him. I would have voted for him 10 times if I were a Democrat, because you can do that as a Democrat. I cannot as an America First American. But let's get into this, folks. It is bad that you hate Elon Musk. It is next level that you are burning Teslas, keying Teslas, burning Tesla dealerships, and you think somehow that's sending the right message. There was a great comment on one of the videos I'm going to share. There's a parking lot of Teslas just on fire. Because as we all know, the climate is a very scary thing. We are fully responsible for climate change. It's all man-made. The world's going to come to an end. Oceans are going to rise. Tidal waves are going to get worse. Hurricanes are going to get worse. You're going to run out of food. Like, there's overpopulation. So many things are wrong with man-made climate change. And then these lunatics that believe so fervently in the climate change myth that they're burning Teslas. And I don't know about you, but when you burn tires, when you burn lithium-ion batteries, when you burn anything that a car is made out of, and you see the black smoke going up in the atmosphere, I'm going to tell you right now, you have done more harm to the environment than I can probably do in a decade. So yeah, good job there. Once again, incoherence all around. I love the environment. I'm going to burn these electric vehicles, and whatever toxic fumes get released, it's worth it, apparently. But listen to this, folks. We're just going to dive into Jimmy Kimmel today. Jimmy Kimmel basically saying we should have more violence. He doesn't say it explicitly because you can't. You're an absolute clown if you say, yes, I want more violence. But there is no misunderstanding in this short little clip from his monologue. Jimmy Kimmel wants to see more Tesla dealerships set on fire, more individual Teslas set on fire, more of them keyed, damaged, because that's getting it. That really sends a message to Elon Musk. Yeah, you're standing up for America, standing up for democracy when you go after Elon Musk's products. So take a listen to this. This is where we're at in the Democrat Party. Back to the comment on X2 that I saw, by the way. Remember Bud Light? Remember when Bud Light hired Dylan Mulvaney, a male, to be their new spokesman? And he did his awful campaign. He's out there drinking the specially crafted beer cans with his face on it. Did we burn down Anheuser-Busch facilities? Did we burn down liquor stores? Or did we just say, as American patriots, that I guess we're not buying Bud Light anymore? Like, you would be an absolute idiot to give your money to this company that is trying to promote an insane and evil ideology that gets used to then go after children. It's bad enough that you're already forced to play along with grown-ups. It is beyond heinous and evil and demonic that narrative trickles down to kids and captures impressionable young minds. Simply demonic stuff here. So we didn't give our money to Bud Light. Bud Light sales have never recovered. We boycotted them. People drank other beer. I think wisely so. A lot of younger Americans, and myself included, just don't drink anymore. The benefits of not drinking far, far outweigh any benefit that you're going to receive from drinking. I can't think of a single thing that drinking any form of alcohol provides a benefit to you for. So I stopped. Younger people, if you believe the polls, they've stopped drinking. They might be switching over to the legalized weed situation, which is not really a good thing, but alcohol has no benefits. But we did not burn down liquor stores. We just boycotted Bud Light. We drank something else or stopped drinking altogether. The left, when they disagree with something, they turn into ISIS, is what the comments said over on X. They turn into ISIS. They love their violence. They will burn this stuff down. They will burn the world down because, again, they can't win in the marketplace of ideas. They have no compelling ideology to begin with, no compelling policies that will materially benefit regular Americans. They can't win if we just talk about ideas. So then they have to resort to a strong arm. They have to resort to force. They have to resort to violence. The only way they get in power is if they strong arm you into submission. And Americans are just done with that. They are done with that. But take a listen. Let's start with the clips here. Here is Jimmy Kimmel.
Several Teslas have had swastikas painted on them. And not only is that vandalism, it is also a violation of Kanye's trademark and has to stop. There have even been incidents of arson. Someone lit a bunch of Teslas on fire. And here's the thing. I get that people are upset. Burning a car might not be great for the environment. I don't think that's what they had in mind when they invented the electric car. In Las Vegas yesterday, someone threw a Molotov cocktail at a Tesla service center. At least 5 Teslas blew up, 1 from the Molotov and 4 because that's just what Teslas do sometimes. And no one should be setting fires. You could kill somebody. You could hurt somebody. Elon Musk might not care about other people, but decent Americans should. The world's richest man, has been trying to drum up sympathy for himself lately. His sales are down. His stock is down. Last night, he was somber as he went through this with Sean Hannity.
Tesla is a peaceful company. We've never done anything harmful. I've never done anything harmful. I've only done productive things. So I think we just have a deranged, there's some kind of mental illness thing going on here, because this doesn't make any sense.
Well, let me see if I can explain it for you. When you pull out a chainsaw to celebrate firing thousands of people, they get mad. It's just a, my God, I mean, this poor guy. You do one, maybe two Nazi salutes, everybody gets all bent out of shape.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't burn them down, people. Don't burn them down. If you can imagine, folks, it gets worse, though. Late night comedy, yeah, don't burn them down. You could hurt somebody. We wouldn't want to hurt anybody. That's not bad enough. And of course, the audience is clapping because deep down, again, the messaging is like, we should be mad at Elon Musk and we need to do something at Elon Musk. And we'll address the climate issue. We'll address maybe people getting hurt issue. Never mind the fact that someone might have had to go to their job or go to the hospital that day and now they can't because their vehicle is sitting in the driveway on fire. It gets worse. Here is The Daily Show. The Daily Show audience is clapping, enthusiastically clapping when they see the same clip that you just showed. And then I'll play that clip itself so you can see it on the full screen.
Jim, they're taking to the streets or the parking lots.
Tonight, the FBI and ATF now investigating multiple cases of possible arson targeting Teslas and Cybertrucks.
This dramatic video shows multiple cars in flames. Police say the attacker used Molotov cocktails. It's the latest in more than a dozen instances of arson and vandalism targeting Tesla.
The same suspect shot more Teslas with a gun. Tesla Cybertrucks were set on fire in Kansas City, and earlier this month, shots fired at a Tesla dealership in Oregon. Cybertrucks on fire in Seattle.
Wow, you guys like petty acts of domestic terrorism, huh?
Yeah, you guys like petty acts of domestic terrorism. His words, not mine, and he didn't seem at all bothered by it. Again, I don't know this clown's name, the latest host of The Daily Show, which is irrelevant, but relevant for this conversation because there are people out there, people sitting in his audience, himself in the chair. No one had a problem with all the violence, the fires. You're shooting at a car now because you are mentally unwell, as Elon Musk so perfectly said. These dudes are clapping for this destruction. Does it accomplish anything? No. Are you even supporting the right side of history? No. You're opposed to Elon Musk uncovering corruption in the federal government. At the end of the day, that's what you're saying is, I love government corruption. The same people that say government will solve our problems are the same people saying we love government corruption and corruption cannot solve your problems. Again, incoherent worldview. Nothing can be done about these folks. But it is insane. It is absolutely insane. Jimmy Kimmel's out there, and he's saying, don't start any more fires, folks. Wink, wink. You got this guy right here saying, all right, you love domestic terrorism. Absolutely insane stuff here. And then I think let's go to MSNBC, and then I'll show you we got one more clip here of the Las Vegas lot. I got clips here of other people setting individual cars on fire. Again, keen cars, not to the same level of destruction, but just the mindset that is so pervasive in these people's lives. Here's MSNBC, though, downplaying all of this as well, because of course they do.
But then you also overnight have this post claiming that protests at Tesla dealerships are illegal. He said today he would label violence against dealerships domestic terrorism. Now, I am judicious in how I play this sound, but I think you need to hear it from him.
Mr. President talks about some of the violence that's been going on around the country at dealerships. Some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists.
I will do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop them. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. Let me tell you, you do it to Tesla and you do it to any company, we're going to catch you and you're going to go through hell.
So just to be clear, you protest a private company, you are labeled by this administration a domestic terrorist.
I just got to say, too, she's very judicious about playing Trump clips. Don't listen to Donald Trump too much. That might hurt you. You might get exposed to too much truth. Yeah, judicious indeed. No one is talking about peaceful protests. This is the left, though. I mean, she might as well have been on the street with the flaming cars behind her saying, mostly peaceful protest here at this Las Vegas Tesla dealership. No, you can protest all you want. Setting cars on fire is not a protest anymore. It is property destruction, and you belong in prison. And yes, because it is politically motivated violence, it is domestic terrorism. They are trying to send a message. They are trying to frighten you. I don't think Elon Musk is necessarily harmed by this. His company could absorb that. And as Nancy Pelosi said, we always have insurance. But regular Americans out there, they're afraid to drive a Tesla now. That's what domestic terrorism does. It makes you think twice. If I drive a Tesla to this part of the city, is it going to get keyed or set on fire? Am I going to be able to get home? So yes, if you do violence, you face consequences. No one is talking about just a simple protest. If you wave a stupid sign out there and you got blue and yellow marker on your sign because it's all intersectional, I know exactly how you feel about every single issue, policy, whatever it is. If you are outraged, Elon Musk, I can tell you right now your entire worldview. I'll tell you how it's all wrong as well. But my goodness, yes, go protest all you want. Apparently, you don't have to work. You don't have a real job. You're not spending time with your kids. Yeah, you go protest a Tesla dealership anyways. You're already a low IQ loser. But then if you bring out the Molotov cocktails, and the Daily Show's audience was clapping about Molotov cocktails getting hurled at Teslas, then you get to go to prison for a very, very long time. I'm going to switch gears. This is Tim Walz now. This is my governor in Minnesota. Decidedly did not vote for him. He's apparently running again. I don't think he's going to. He was looking in the Senate race for 26. Tim Walz, thoroughly embarrassed. Everything got exposed when he was selected as vice president. I still don't know how they ended up on Tim Walz, and they thought that he would appeal to young red-blooded men that are just like, I hate the government. And then you got this clown over here, and he had all of his other scandals, National Guard, Chinese affairs. Tim Walz is toast. Tim Walz also doesn't care about Minnesotans, and he couldn't have made that more clear. So in the state of Minnesota, we have lots of very cushy pensions. The state of Minnesota holds all sorts of retirement accounts. Like, we're talking trillions of dollars, and they're not dumb. The people managing the money, not all of them at least, are woke. They might all be woke. I have no idea about that. But they're also interested in making money because they like their job. If their portfolios don't perform well, someone else they'll find someone else that'll do a better job. So turns out Minnesota retirement accounts own a lot of Tesla stock. And for good reason. Tesla stock in the last decade, if you had bought it early enough, you could go live on an island right now. Tim Walz, though, is celebrating the fact that Tesla stock is down because he would rather own Elon Musk in the short term than look out for Minnesotans that rely on these pensions. I'll use myself as an example. I was a government school employee, teacher, assistant principal for a while. I was mandated to pay into the Teacher Retirement Association. It was called the TRA. I think it's Teacher Retirement Association. And so Minnesota handles your retirement. The school district pays in, you pay in a little bit. If you want to save for yourself, you can. I don't know why we are even dealing with this. Get government out of retirement. You can be responsible for yourself. But my money goes into the coffers of the state of Minnesota, and they're promising me returns if I work so long and I can get some money back. So they have Tesla stock. And good. Tesla stock made people a lot of money. Tim Walz, though, he's happy now that your retirement portfolio is smaller because Elon.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you.
Unhinged on so many levels. So I set this video up talking about how he is celebrating the financial losses of an American company, one of the best American companies out there. And by the way, I don't blame you for owning a Tesla. Tim Walz, maybe you want to talk a little bit more about owning electric vehicles. After all, Minnesota tried to emulate California and ban gas-powered vehicles from being produced. California, I think, set the rule for 2035. I know Tim Walz said that we can't have any more fossil fuel burning energy. You can't produce energy in the state of Minnesota with fossil fuels. It all has to be renewable. And at the same time, he doesn't want nuclear. My energy bills went up this year. Tim Walz is so concerned about the environment. And then at the same time, he says, yes, let's celebrate the demise of Tesla. No, Tesla's not going anywhere. They will recover. The stock price will go back up. But just imagine being the state of Minnesota's governor. You love government. You want everyone on government pensions and retirement plans, and you want them dependent, reliant on big daddy government. And then he also apparently wants you to get less money every month because their stock price is going down. And by extension, the retirement account funds are going down. Tim Walz got hammered online for this, rightfully so. What Democrat is still out there that works hard, supports a family, pays a mortgage, coaches their son's t-ball games? I'm not talking about the blue-haired cat ladies that smell like urine. I'm not talking about you clowns. There is no saving 20% of this country. They have so much TDS and now EDS, it is not possible to bring them back to reality. But a lot of my family members and friends, they're what I would consider normal people. We have fun when we hang out. We don't talk politics when we hang out. We talk about kids, talk about whatever else. They're living in the Matrix. It's fine. But they're good people. At the end of the day, they're good people. They're just so wrong about all of this. If you vote Democrat, if you vote for Tim Walz again after everything that came out when he was vice president, running for vice president, things that he's saying right now, this clip just is awful. It sounds so bad. Also, it's just stupid. You can take the dental floss and scrape off the T logo. This just in, buddy. I still know what a Cybertruck looks like. I still know what a Model S looks like. It's just stupid. It's so stupid. I can't believe he was selected for vice president. I can't believe my fellow Minnesotans have elected this clown twice. It's simply unreal. All right, we got to get to some clips here. Again, more Tesla destruction. So now he gets a boost. Tim Walz gets a boost when he sees Tesla stock going down. And again, he's not necessarily calling for violence, but it's all the same messaging. We want to see Tesla get ruined. I don't think Tim Walz has a problem with the political violence. A lot of these fires, if enough Tesla dealerships go up, if the manufacturing goes up, that's going to bring the stock price down. If you create this narrative around Tesla politically, that could drive the stock price down. Tim Walz is fine with everything that's happening. Make no mistake. Tim Walz didn't call in the National Guard when BLM was at the height of its just absolute destruction. Parts of Minneapolis have never recovered. It's never been rebuilt still. Businesses fled. People have fled. You can still see burned out buildings. At least we still have a memorial for George Floyd, though, because that's the important stuff. And at least the Minnesota Twins, our baseball team here, have a memorial to George Floyd on the right field wall because his life was so meaningful. Tim Walz loves his political violence. Didn't call in the National Guard. Even woke Mayor Jacob Frey of Minneapolis was like, Tim Walz, I need help, please. These guys are out of control. They're breaking into all the stores. They're stealing everything from the stores. AOC just said they were trying to get bread, so I guess that's okay. But Tim Walz had no problem with that. And then his daughter, Hope, if you remember that, Hope, where the National Guard would be going, so the rioters, looters, the murderers, because people died during the BLM riots, so they could clear out and not get intervened by the National Guard. This man is awful. Loves his violence, as we saw 4 or 5 years ago. Didn't condemn the political violence. Instead, he just gets a boost watching the Tesla stock price go down. So there it is, folks. You got Kimmel. You got The Daily Show. You got MSNBC. You got Tim Walz. All these folks perfectly fine with the violence that is taking place right now. The left loves their political violence. And again, rightfully so, because they can't win on ideas. They have to win by force and intimidation and terrorism. So we'll wrap up the show today. It's going to be a little bit shorter, folks. Again, I just want to play a few clips now. You can see Tesla's getting ruined. It's not widespread. It's not every Democrat. It's not everyone, but it's enough. Why do we have even one video of this happening when I can pull up a library of videos to be like, hey, here's this caught on camera with some dude setting fire to a Tesla. Hey, here's this caught on camera. We got 2 incidents of a Tesla getting keyed. It is a little more widespread than 0. The correct answer should be 0. There should be 0 attacks on Tesla, but we have them because, again, people listen to Kimmel. They listen to The Daily Show. They listen to corporate media outlets like MSNBC. They think they're getting told the truth, and they think they should be outraged because the media, the politicians, they have to have you always hyperventilating and freaking out. You always have to be outraged. They can't just let Americans be well enough alone, just take care of you, go to work, raise your family. No. You got to be mad about something because Democrats have to create the problem, and then they're going to pretend to sell you the solution to the very problem that they created in the first place. So let's take a look here. Here's just a couple short videos. We'll play them back to back. You can see some Teslas getting ruined. Prison for life. Just go to prison for life. This is not just a car getting keyed. This is an act of domestic terrorism.
So far, you've been stumbling. That's already it's all a part of it. Phone's been blowing up.
All right, I love that one because, again, all on camera. Teslas have cameras. People have cameras in their homes. And it's like, yes, you walked by and keyed the Tesla. And, like, do you feel better about yourself? These same clowns that are doing this, they'd be like, I'm a good person. I support democracy. I stood up to Donald Trump and fascism. And these are the same clowns that are going to go key some stranger's car because they disagree with not even the individual. They don't even know the politics of the individual that drives the car. They just know it's a Tesla. These people have been so brainwashed, propagandized, programmed. Okay, Elon Musk bad, Tesla bad, boom, key. That's it. That's all these people think about. They are not human beings. They are robots. These people are all robots. All right, so you can't see what he's inscribing there if you're watching the video here. That guy actually put a swastika on the Tesla. Again, normal-looking guy. You just have no idea how unwell so many people are walking around, driving around, raising kids, voting. He keyed a swastika in that Tesla. Unreal. Send the guy to prison. Send him to prison. He will find out that there are a lot of people in prison with swastika tattoos. Maybe he should see how they treat him there. All right, let's hear it. This one is wild, folks. This dude doesn't take keys. He takes his fingers and he puts them in places that fingers do not belong. This is disgusting already. Even if he didn't touch a Tesla, he puts his hand behind his back, down his pants. You're already just an awful human being for doing that. And then he decides to add that content to the Tesla. I don't know if prison or an insane asylum or dropping him out of an airplane onto an island is the best solution. But take a look at this.
Do ba 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 do boo do a boo ba do ba do boo boo ba do a do ba do ba do ba do ba do.
I don't know about you. That looks like you can just look at people and you're like, I know you vote Democrat. Like, look, everything about this guy says slob, lazy, gross, disgusting. I mean, the beard's out of control. The body shape is out of control. I don't know what's going on with the outfit. Everything about this human being screams, I am brainwashed by corporate media and Dem politicians. But yikes, just yikes. I love that. Let me say that I hate it first. I hate that we have cameras everywhere. It is turnkey totalitarianism. This has been discussed for a long time, but certainly when the pandemic hit, everyone was like, I think everything's in place, that they could just push a button and now we are all slaves. The fact that there are cameras everywhere watching you is frightful because the government also has access to these cameras. They'll tell you they don't, but they do. They can catch you for anything, and then you got the biometric facial recognition. You are just pegged. They are everywhere. They own you. But then in cases like this, it's like, well, maybe it's not all bad. Like now we can figure out who's putting their fingers up their butt and then wiping it on a Tesla. This guy belongs in prison too. I don't care if it's not a gas can or a key. He's using his fecal matter to send a political message. This guy can go in the same prison cell as our other clowns that are lighting fire, keying, all of the rest here. Absolutely wild stuff. Folks, I can't get over this. This is normal. If you're a Democrat and you see this, I got a real question for you. And I'm going to frame up this question for the normie Democrats out there. You got your boosters. You wore your mask diligently. You might have changed your profile pic showing you in a mask and your little vax sticker. Maybe it's blue and yellow. Maybe it's I'm a good person and I want to see a woman. It's a time for a woman to be president because men have been in charge this whole time. And look at where the country's at. You might be an idiot along all those lines here. What is your response to this? I'm asking genuinely. I'm not asking snarkily or condescendingly. I seriously want to know, what is your reaction when you see all the clips that we just played today? Whether it was a late night talk show host, whether it was a corporate media propagandist, whether it was your governor, if you're one of my friends or family members in Minnesota that you voted for, whether it's one of these clips of just randoms, hopefully sending themselves to prison. What is your response when you take the totality of this episode today and you think, gosh, that's my side. I was told my side is good, virtuous in their own way. They can never, I love that idea too. How do you defend morality if you don't believe in a God, a Christian God, by the way? Like, oh no, it's good. Well, why is it good? Is it your opinion that it's good? What would you say to this? And you would probably be like, I don't support that part of the Democrat Party. I just want to get along because I think like a child and we can all just get along. Everyone's good in this world. Donald Trump's still bad. I just want to get along. Like, I do want to know though, like, what is your response to this? And then how do you defend the idea that like, if this is all wrong, and again, I played clips of Kimmel, MSNBC, The Daily Show. This is not the first time they have propped up some fake narrative. These same segments or speakers or networks or programs, they have all been pushing lies, whether it was vaccination, insurrection, election stuff, hoaxes, impeachments. This is not the first time they have been on the wrong side of an issue. I hope you understand that. So if you're outraged about what you're seeing here, then you got to start asking the question here, what else have they been programming people to think, say, or do over the course of your entire lifetime? I mean, if you're my age, it has been your entire lifetime. If you were born after World War II, it is your entire lifetime. But let's just say in the last 10 years with the rise of social media prominence now, they are getting quite good. I think they've got the propaganda dialed into about as good as it's going to get here. But what is your response? And then what is your response when you have to confront the idea that maybe they've been pushing other narratives that lead people to do and say and think awful, awful things? So I'm going to leave it with that question for today, everybody. We got to get out here a little bit early. It is Thursday where I'm at. I've got sick kids. I think I am finally sick as well. I held out, folks. I got to say this. I held out for like 3 weeks. I watched my kids not even be able to move, get out of bed, leave the couch. I was like, I don't know. I got to do this. I just got to do this. I got to take care of them. I know I'm going to get sick at some point. I think it finally happened. I said this on Tuesday, speaking of sick kids, near and dear to my heart. When you think back to the pandemic, I knew a lot of parents of young kids, older kids, and they said, you're sick. Good luck. I'm afraid of COVID. They told me awful things are going to happen to me if I contract it. I have comorbidities maybe. I knew people that would abandon their kids when they got sick. And this isn't the first go around. I'm lucky. My kids are pretty healthy. I get sick all that often in my house. But they got pretty bad this time. I think this is probably the worst it's been. It lingered for a long time. Not once did I think about abandoning them or not holding them or not whatever. Like, you are a sick child. You are my sick child. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And I know I'm going to get sick. I know at the end of this, I am going to have to confront this same disgusting, nasty, mutated virus because we bottleneck all the evolution of these viruses in the last couple of years. I know it's coming my way. I know I'm going to get it. And I don't care. Like, these are my kids. I will do whatever I have to make sure that they are healthy, getting better, feeling safe, secure, taken care of. They know dad's got their back at whatever cost. I just can't wrap my head around the fact that there were parents out there that would mask up their sick kid or boot them into their bedroom, lock the door, close the vents, drop food under the table. I'm not being hyperbolic or facetious. This absolutely happened. This did happen. I had people tell me they did it. And I just think, man, you have to ignore some of the most primal instincts. You're a parent. That's your child. And you're not doing everything you can to help them. I just couldn't do it. All right. So we'll end on that note there. And on another rant, we always have lots of random ideas floating up on the show. But folks, I appreciate you tuning in today. I want to give a shout out to my local watcher today. Rumble was a little low. YouTube, we didn't get any of the trolls today. But folks, thanks for tuning in. This was the American Tribune Live with Todd Peterson. We are here every Tuesday and Thursday, 9:30 a.m. Central. So we'll be back next Tuesday. Maybe more stuff comes out from the JFK files. I personally, with two young kids, am not going to read 80,000 pages. I'm sorry. I am absolutely punting that work. I'm going to let someone else read through it. My initial thoughts, though, let me know in the comments below, live or after the show. Have you seen anything groundbreaking, earth-shattering? Did you read it yourself? I got to be honest. Trump announced it. We've been fighting for this for decades. It finally happened, and I feel like it was just a very quiet release. There were some connections that you're like, CIA, maybe, Russia, maybe. You got some stuff circulating again about Nixon, how Nixon knew that there were some other people involved. But I don't know. I don't think there's anything concrete to be like, yes, the government killed him. I think that's where we're at now. But it's we don't just have like a delineated step-by-step of here's the plot, here are the actors, here's how it transpired. So I got to say, I'm a little disappointed with the JFK files. I don't think my expectations were too high. I think anything relevant has been destroyed. It's been destroyed for a long time. The same thing goes with the Epstein files. We will probably get an Epstein release at some point. Not going to tell us a whole lot. You sent Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell to prison for trafficking underage girls, apparently, or just pimping out anyone for that matter. And not a single recipient of that act was ever held accountable. So I'm not holding my breath. I think all these releases are great. They are necessary. They must happen. We have to have transparency. But the idea that we're going to get any brand new, earth-shattering, groundbreaking information, unfortunately, just seems like we are not there anymore. But with that, folks, I'm going to sign off here. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for listening. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you back here on Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. Central at the American Tribune Live with Todd Peterson.
Starting on day one, we'll implement a rapid series of bold reforms to restore our nation to full prosperity. We're going to go full prosperity and to build the greatest economy the world has ever seen, just as we had just a short time ago. We will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Great again. Great again.